Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scouser's morning coffee or tea with American Scouser. It's Friday, so Kermit is here to tell you he's green and loving it. So it is a Friday. We got it rolling. We got the usual trio here. Alex is here with us. Alex, how's it going?
It's going.
You're in Iowa. So what is the NFL team in the neck of the woods? Because I saw some NFL draft chatter yesterday.
It's
I was
just
trying to
kind
think.
of pick. Yeah, it's mainly Chiefs fans, Vikings fans, Packers fans. There's not like a set team.
Okay,
Uh,
that's what I wondered. I was like, I wonder who's popular there. But so popular in the NFL world of things is Kazi. Kazi, what's happening, man?
Oh, you guys, you okay? Yeah, no idea. What's going on? A draft? I closed the window. I have no idea.
Only the first two rounds of the draft was coming in, I think. So there, or is it only the first round yesterday, right? It's only the first round yesterday?
yeah,
Yeah,
first
see,
round.
the 49ers don't have anything till the end of the third, so I kind of like stayed out of this and did not follow it.
Did he
But
talk about Jude Bellingham yesterday in the first round? I have no idea. Was it a Jude Bellingham chat? It's talking about him. I don't know.
no, we traded down and picked up. If Liverpool was an NFL team, yeah, we would constantly be like trading down and getting extra picks and giving the top picks away. We will be that team, which I'm good with, I guess, if you can pick up some good guys at the end. But yeah, hey, pretty soon you make fun of it now. The way things are going as soccer gets more and more Americanized and commercialized, you will have a draft in no time, buddy. So be careful. Be careful. You might have to learn how the draft works pretty soon
Yeah.
over here. Okay, so before we get to the headlines and stuff like that, we posted actually this clip on our Facebook page. I associated in like a bunch of groups and stuff too. But I kind of want to play it here again as well. We have 2 days left before our the fundraiser ends, the silent auction as well as the fundraiser ends. Hoping to kind of have a big push, kind of like far from our goal in terms of the total. And we do still have several items on the silent auction that are waiting for bids as well. So I think we had a last Friday. Didn't have you boys on. Ettore was here, so we talked to him about. He's from Save the Children, and he gave us like a lot of like insight and perspective. I thought in terms of how this stuff works. So I'm just gonna play a little clip from that to give an idea. And even though if people cannot donate $100, if 10 people donated $10, like it says $100 can provide psychological support for 10 kids for 3 months. And I that is like so huge. And I think that's, it might be even those 3 months can help a kid's years down the future.
You're absolutely right. Here's the challenge in fundraising for this disaster or others. People think that the need is so great. There are two challenges. One, people think the need is so great that they're hopeless, that their money won't make a difference. And I'm here to say it will. And number two, they also think someone else will donate, and no one does. You are that someone else. So if you're listening to this live or on the restream, please consider contributing. We are very generous. We're grateful for your generosity, but also if you can't donate, I understand completely. But what you can do is use the power of your voice. So you can use the power of your network, your personal network, and you can share this content with your social network. And therefore, if you can't give, maybe someone who gets the message can give. But you're absolutely right. $6 can provide 5 thermal blankets for families in the cold, right? This struck during the winter. It's now starting to thaw, but it's a really tough time. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that analogy that you made is a perfect one. That psychosocial support, $100 for 10 children over 3 months, that'll get them to a place where a better place of normalcy and mental resilience. Even if you can't donate $10 yourself, if you share it and 10 of your friends donate $10, that's $100 right there. So it's not all on you. We're in this together.
Yeah, so hoping everybody kind of like, that I think by itself kind of explains how it's kind of like every small donation can help. I've been like throughout this process. I mean, it's been a month now, and even like another like 2-3 weeks to get ready for it with the silent auction and stuff. Pleasantly surprised with the contributions and like the spreading the word of some. So can't thank them enough. I'll have to make a list for the Monday night podcast or something like that, so I don't leave anybody behind. But at the same time, I think there's a lot out there that I was kind of like hoping more, I guess I should say. This thing that kind of like bothers me the most, Kazi, is if I said every dollar of this goes to the Bellingham Fund, sadly, in some of these Liverpool groups, we would probably collect more money than for a good cause.
Yeah, definitely. I think, when these kind of things happen, you are right in terms of the Bellingham thing. Everyone's got times are hard right now. Inflation's through the roof. People are struggling. But even if you can just make the smallest donation, every kind of thing helps to get us to that goal. Someone is always kind of worse off than you. So I suppose we can always, try and donate.
Yeah, that's about the goal is, I think, because I know the silent auction, not everybody is up for those silent auctions, but every little bit helps. And that's why I thought, like, the way Ettore explained that, even the sharing kind of thing. I mean, we only have 2 days left, but the post is there. I mean, if you share that clip alone, I think it will go a long way because it really outlines the need over there still. And hopefully we get 2 more days and we'll get as much. I mean, at the end of the day, even though it's probably going to be behind what we set as a goal, it's going to be more than 0. So it's going to help some kid out there. And I think as American Scouts, we can all sleep a bit better once we send out money donations. Alan is with us as morning, still alive, but not kicking, he says. I know he's struggling, recovering from that surgery. So, and Sparky with us. Sparky's a spy, I think, because he's here one day, there the next day. He's just traveling now. He's showing off his Sunny Phoenix. But he does say everything gets the first pick in the draft. We're going to get to that. That's going to be good times. Ryan with us as well. Okay, so let's start with a couple of weird headlines first and cover that concept. I know you're going to love seeing this over here, Kazi, but Alex, let's start with you on this one. What the hell is this comedy they're speaking of? These guys already complain about having to fly 3 hours. Who the hell is going to come over here to play on a Wednesday?
It's just it's weird because UEFA did all that they could to be like, we don't want the Super League. But at the end of the day, they're slowly stealing ideas away from the Super League and implement them into the Champions League. And, it's all for them. It's all about money. And America is just one of those places where you can get a lot of money for whatever it may be, TV rights, the notoriety, the amount of fans that you can pack into an NFL stadium to watch the game. That's what it comes down to. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about the club. They don't care about the rich history. They just care about the money. And that's what it's coming down to with this stupid thing. It doesn't make any sense to me to play in the semifinal at Anfield and then if you make it to the final, you got to go and play in Seattle. That doesn't make any sense.
Here's your reward. I mean, so do you think it is one of those things that they are really thinking of, Kazi, or is it one of those that somebody asked him and he was like, yeah, why not? You never know. Like when your, kid says, can I get a car? You're like, yeah, maybe one day you'll get your own car and stuff. It was that kind of a deal. Because I mean, in terms of logistics, it doesn't make sense by itself. Sparky says not a chance. I don't see it either, just because, like you say, logistically, it makes 0 sense for them to do that, to be able to do it. I'm not debating that they would love to do it, kind of like what for reasons Alex outlined, but I just don't think it's possible to do it.
I actually think it's physically impossible, though. I don't think, like, at least West Coast. Let's look at the actual geography. At least West Coast can't be. It's not possible. 10 hours on an 8-hour time difference to go and play on a Wednesday night as in Seattle, and then you've got to get that flight home. That's an 11-hour flight home. Then it's also an 8 hours, so you land Friday morning to play a game Saturday morning, because that's what BT do. They love to schedule the Reds at 12:30 after the league game. So it's physically impossible. I think what he's getting at here, and I could see this happening, is the Club World Cup going there, and I think that's where that's going to be the market, is the Club World Cup and the Confederations Cup that they do for the international sides. I know they like to have the Confederations Cup in the country the year before the World Cup as a test run out kind of thing. But I've got a feeling that's where they're going to go. Don't be surprised to see the Club World Cup in America when they expand the Club World Cup as like a summer tournament kind of thing.
Yeah.
The first location is going to be America. I don't care what anyone. It will be America, and that's the target they want to do. Now, following on what Alex is saying, which is quite interesting in terms of the Super League chat. Let's get it right. All the leaders of the Super League and all the clubs of the Super League sat down with UEFA and have said we need to earn more money somehow. We want more money because that would have been the compromise. So the compromise is probably going to be an expanded Club World Cup, which is happening for these clubs who went to the Super League to then take it to America and go, oh, we can get you more money this way. We expand the Club World Cup and put you in America that way. I know that's why Liverpool and City, and they've all sat down and went, you know what, that's the compromise. And that's probably what they've done. So I can definitely see that happening.
Matush says he missed 12 minutes of Kazi. The good thing is he hasn't talked the entire 12 minutes, though. So it's not like Discord.
Yeah.
So you don't miss the entire time. But see, here's the thing. I feel like actually the other way around with the Super League thing. This was kind of like, I don't think these ideas are stolen necessarily, Alex. These were ideas that they all had initially. And then these clubs that said, you know what, why are we freaking going with these guys? They need us more than we need them. But I think down the road, how these teams introduced Super League and the backlash they had should be in every book teaching public relations and, you know, like marketing and stuff like that, because they did such a shitty job of it that they were able to somehow make FIFA the villain. And that takes a freaking lot for somebody to make FIFA the villain in an equation. And, you know, they made him the victim.
Yeah.
And, you know, whereas I feel like all along FIFA was going to do all this stuff anyway, but they were going to take their cuts out of it. And the clubs wanted to take their cut out, and it blew up on their face just because of the way they approached it. If I was like, you know, all these teams that wanted the Super League, I would have let FIFA come out with all this crap and let them announce all this shit and then come over and say, yeah, look at what these guys are doing. We're going to just do our own thing over here in the backyard. And I think it would be a lot more sympathetic. It would get more of a positive reaction than it did. At the same time, if you eliminate, I think the biggest thing over there that everybody was up in arms about it was the fact that, you know, the relegation and screwing over the other teams and stuff like that, and how we're going to, you know, enjoy Everton misery if they're not in the league to, you know, enjoy it with. So that was, yeah, exactly. Right. So that's the thing. But I mean, the US thing, I realize some market, but I mean, here's the thing. Far East is a huge market too. Why would they not go there, Alex? Or is that next? And next year, like that Club World Cup thing, I think you're right, Kazi, maybe. And then the next one is in Japan or something like that.
I think it comes down to ticket sales and TV. Why they're bringing it to U.S. I mean, you look at when they bring preseason tournaments over here in the U.S., it's preseason tournaments, and they're selling out like 100,000 seat stadiums. Like over at Michigan, the Wolverine Stadium, they're selling out Arrowhead down in Kansas City, which is like 80,000 people. You're selling out those, and then you have exclusive TV rights with ESPN. It's just free money compared to maybe the Middle East, where, you know, certain parts of the world are not going to be able to see those games unless they want to be up at like, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning type stuff. And I think it really comes down to that. How can they maximize their dollars? And the best way to maximize their dollars is the US. And, you know, there's that new tour that is going to America. The 6 or 8 Premier League clubs are going over to the US for a tour. Yeah. Shaking his head. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. But Liverpool had to pull out of that one. But you see, like, Villa's going over. You got all these teams going over to the U.S. to do their America preseason tour, and they know they're going to sell They're going to sell T-shirts, kits, everything when they come over here. So that's why they're coming over to the U.S.
Yeah.
But okay, and which I understand. But I feel like they would probably, I mean, they go to the far, I mean, basically they almost rotate. Like these 8 next year would go to Japan, and then like Liverpool and another 8 come over here. I guess my question is though, if you made it a regular thing, Kazi, like I think you sell out stadiums now because it's almost like a concert. Like
Yeah.
they're on tour. I mean, the whole thing is called a tour. Like they're on tour. If it was a regular occurrence, I think they're kind of like overestimating the audience over here. Because if you had, if they somehow made the stupid Champions League dream come true for them, and if there was more regular games over here, I don't think you are selling out 80,000. You see what Major League Soccer teams go through right now, and let's face it, half the people in that stadium do not understand that it's like the soccer level. It's not like they're not going because of the soccer level or anything like that. It's just because there's not as much interest in the sport.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. I think you are completely correct with the tour aspect. Like Liverpool are on tour. Like, and there's also a ticket price element where Americans are used to paying higher ticket prices for their sporting events.
Yeah.
And you are in the UK. So, and you are, of course, gaining all them gate receipts. I wouldn't want to pay $300 to see Conor Bradley play right back for Liverpool. But if that's what people are into, then that's what you're into. I don't want to see Tyler Morton play and stuff. I'm not interested. So, if that's what you're into, that's fine. You know what I mean? But it is an uncapped market. There's also, and as Alex said, with the time to the kickoff. So, the kickoffs in the UK are still works at the UK time. So, for example, if you're on the West Coast, you can put the game on at 12 o'clock, 8 p.m. UK time. Perfect. You can go and have a few beers and watch Liverpool against United, the second string, and have a bit of a laugh kind of thing. So I do see that is a reason why everyone does it. America is an uncapped market still kind of thing. And it is a growing sport, soccer over here. Mm-hmm. So I do see it, and Alex is 100% spot on. Liverpool were meant to be coming on this tour. They were meant to be going to the Vegas Oakland Raiders Stadium and playing United or someone like that. Because that was like kind of the big rumour in February time. Yeah. And I think as we progressively got worse, Klopp was like, hey, we've earned enough money over these tours. I just need these lads in Germany for 6 weeks to basically whip them into shape. So,
especially, and that also gives us a sign that we're going to be signing a bunch of people to be able to integrate. We need more time. Hey, silver lining, people.
There you go.
Silver lining. Speaking of silver lining, let's make it a happy morning for you over here, Kazi. There you go, buddy. I mean, you just if you feel down, just look at the standings. But so I know you were happy as hell yesterday. I have to admit, I am too. Sparky says, by the way, it's like the NFL in London. One-off fills Wembley, regular season games won't fill. Exactly. I agree. I think it's just more like an event that people go to. And like, especially us, like, I mean, we're going there because this is, for example, for most of us, the only chance we get to watch Liverpool, for example. But I think if it was like regular, you would not go to every game because, it's like, just because it's just not going to have the same audience it has now. It's more like an event. There's a lot of people over there that are like, just soccer fans. I mean, when I went to the game for Liverpool Dortmund, for example, in like South Bend, a lot of those people were there just to be able to go into South Bend at the cheaper price, it felt like. And then the second part was there was a lot of just like soccer, like wearing like miscellaneous jerseys. They were there just for the sport more than the teams themselves. But sounds like if you really want to see Everton, you don't have to worry about them coming over here, but you might be able to enjoy cheaper at championship ticket level prices here, Kazi. So how much are you looking forward to? You are the case study, by the way, for people. Not everybody from Liverpool wants Everton to still stick around. You are our case study. We brought you live so that people can see that this is a true character. Somebody from Liverpool who's dying for Everton to get relegated. So, yeah, how happy are you to see that? And how much more likely is it now that they're going to go down?
I mean, I celebrated that Jacob Murphy goal yesterday more than Origi in Madrid. I don't want them to just get relegated. I want them to get liquidated. But if relegation is the start, then I'm okay with it. No, I mean, they have to go down. Everything is a case study of what everything can do wrong in a football club. How to run a football club wrong, Everton are the biggest case study. I looked at the team yesterday, so, we'll get on to like where they are, but let's look at the team yesterday, and you look at the actual team that started. Michael Keane cost 20-odd million. Pickford cost 20-odd million. Onana cost 40-odd million. Alex Iwobi cost 40 million. These are players like that. Mykolenko cost 25, I think. These are players that they've went big on big money. That team started yesterday. It was like over 3. They brought Neil Maupay on. He cost 20 million. By the way, whoever signed Neil Maupay for 20 million quid, fair play. That agent, my God. I
want that guy. He can probably get us a couple of mil.
we can get us Jude Bellingham for 10 million quid. The negotiation chapter to pay Neil Maupay for 20. But I mean, listen, yeah, they will go down. I am the happiest guy in the world that they will go down. They cannot score goals. Like, I think as a whole, they cannot score goals. So it's very. I always say this with sides at the bottom of the league: if you can score goals, you've got a chance to get out because you might win a game 2-1. And everyone knew yesterday. As soon as that game went 1-0 yesterday, every single person who likes Premier League football all knew, well, Everton not winning this game because they can't score 2. They cannot just not score 2 goals. And Calvert-Lewin yesterday, they did have more of a focal point. But as soon as that first goal went in, they just fell apart. They actually played quite well for the first 20 minutes, Everton. But as soon as the first goal went in, they fell apart. I want Everton to go down more than I want Liverpool to be in the Champions League. Like, I want Everton to cease existing. Like, this is, like, more important to me than most things. I'm trying to put it on record here how important it is and how important it is to my sanity that Everton get relegated.
Thursday says we can use their new stadium as the huge restroom in the world. And Sparky has been one person that, like when we were talking about this last year, and this is such a joy every year we go through this excitement. About is everything going to go through relegation? But yeah, we were talking about last year. I know, like, Sparky always says that, he wants everyone to stick around more. His is more family, city, over perhaps like the joy of the your rival going down. But I mean, the goals, now they scored a goal yesterday, to give him credit. But that's 25 goals in 33 games, Alex. And that's freaking brutal. I mean, you can put a scarecrow in the box and it would probably like deflect off of him and go in at least a couple of times anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, that I've been slating Everton in the chat recently. I've been saying for the past like month and a half that they're probably going to go down. And it was my concern on deadline day was they didn't get in that striker. And let's put in perspective how bad it is. Cody Gakpo would be the top scorer at Everton right now. And Cody only has 6 goals and he signed in January. Okay. Their top scorer has 4 goals, which is Damari Gray, and 3 of them are from set plays. So they are in big trouble. To be honest with you, I think they're like Southampton. I think they're going down. I think those are the 2 for sure going down, because I know people are saying, hey, the point swing, but you look at the games they have. I don't realistically see them get more than 2 points in their last 5 games, especially when they only average 1 goal a game. Yeah. So
I think I want to follow on from that, actually, because Alex made a great point about the point situation. So when you look at their game, I know, I think they played Bournemouth on the last day at home.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. That's what I was trying to pull out. Yeah. I'll pull up their schedule for you right here. So.
Bournemouth have won 4 of the last 5. Bournemouth are flying though. They've got to go to Leicester on Monday, and I don't think they've had a bigger game in their history apart from the Palace game last year, funny enough. That Leicester game on Monday, if they lose that game, it's over. It is completely done. You may as well just start packing up. You're not getting nothing from Brighton. You're getting nothing from City. You're getting nothing from Wolves, because Wolves are playing really well right now as well. They're playing sides who are coming into form. And the other thing is as well, for the Liverpool fans who want Everton to stay up, do you remember the reaction when Pickford done Van Dijk and basically curtailed Van Dijk's career? Remember with Charleston's tackle on Thiago, which ended Thiago's basically start of his career for 3 months in the same game? Do you remember when Funes Mori basically curtailed Origi's career, when Origi was absolutely unbelievable for Liverpool at that point? And we all thought he's a striker for the next 10 years. And
that gets forgotten. That's a great point. That gets forgotten.
And then he's kissing the badge, walking off like this as he's just crocked the lad for 6 months. Do you remember all that? Do you remember Pickford at 0-0 draws, catching the ball like this and wasting 45 seconds and thinking it's absolutely hilarious? Send them fuckers down. Sorry, language. Send them down.
Bring it out.
Like, I'm not. Yeah, I'm like, what they have done to Liverpool in the last 5 years, never mind the last 10, 15, is pure hatred. Yes, they give us wonderful moments like Origi and Sadio Mane, and it's always great beating them. Liverpool's record actually at Goodison Park, I think we've only won 2 of the last 12 at Goodison Park. Get me a team up that we can beat, please. Every time people go, who do you want to come up? I went, a team that we can beat. That sounds wonderful. A team that we can take 6 points off. Let's go. We love taking points off Everton. It's great. but we usually on the average taking 4 off them. Give me 6. I want a team that can take 6 off. Send them down as quick as possible. I want riots on the pitch at Bournemouth. I want them lighting the stadium on fire. I need to see this. Because I know a lot of Everton fans and they will light that stadium on fire if they lose to Bournemouth on the last day. I'm taking a week off work. Here's how bad it got. When they lost last night, I Googled the last day of the season and it's the Sunday and it's a Memorial Day weekend. I was like, this can't plan any better.
A 3-day joy.
Just happiness.
See, I really think if it comes down to the Bournemouth game, they will pull, like, if they need a win out of that, I would like say there's a chance, because you could even see yesterday initially when they started the game, because of the fans kind of like almost making them run and making them kind of like give that effort initially, that they were all over Newcastle in the beginning. Newcastle could not build up play, and Newcastle was playing like this is going to be an easy one. It's Everton. It's not like they're going to score anyway. It felt like they were totally out of it to start the game with. I think if they do that against Bournemouth at home, they might get something. The key is this Leicester game, and I think the fact that it is away kind of like hurts them a lot. And honestly, even yesterday, Alex, I mean, I know they started like that, but you kind of knew that they were not going to be able to do that 90 minutes. I don't think any team can really do that 90 minutes. Even us, you know, when we were doing the heavy metal football, I mean, there are times we pick spots to rest in the game and not press like nonstop like they were doing. But even then, when they couldn't score, I mean, if you're Newcastle, if you're any team playing them, they're like, yeah, just let them run like crazy for a little bit. They're going to wear down, and then we'll just start playing, because they're not going to score anyway. And I don't think they're going to get that push against Leicester. So if they get a draw out of the Leicester game, are they still in it? Looking at the rest of the games, obviously the City game automatically looks like a 0 points, and Brighton away, just because of how good Brighton is, I think looks like a 0. But I mean, last year what they did was, I think we had a similar conversation last year, where they were able to pull some points off of games that we thought they would not be. I can't remember if it was Arsenal or like they won some games that you thought they were not going to. But if they don't get a point against Leicester City, is it pretty much done for them, because that pulls away Leicester City at the same time. Not only they don't get anything, but it basically says Leicester City is out of the mess.
I see. Here's the thing is, I don't think even if they were to get a point from that, they have to hope the teams above them drop points, and I don't see the teams above them dropping enough points for them to leapfrog them. I just don't see it. They're not going to win versus Brighton. They're not going to win against City. They probably won't win the Wolves game, and they probably, with how good Bournemouth has been looking, I doubt they get anything from that game in the last day of the season anyways, because that could be a totally empty ground for the last day of the season. So yeah, I can see the argument that they need something from the Leicester game, but they need teams above them dropping points, and I just don't see that. I don't see that happening. It's too little too late, especially with 5 games left. It's too late for Everton.
Following on, go ahead.
But there's a City will have title wrapped up by then. So can't see a result against Everton. Yeah, the way Arsenal is going. And I was just looking before you go ahead, Kazi, but I know like Forest plays Southampton still at home.
Yes.
So they have that. Go ahead, Kazi. I'm going to check out like
I mean, there's a couple of things here that we need to remember. Let's get it right, because we are, rivals of Everton. If this was another club and not Everton, and they're playing like that and can't score goals, we'll all be sitting here going, they're gone. Mm-hmm. But because it's Everton, we're all sitting there going, no, they'll find a way out because they've been in the league for so long and they have these miracle escapes. But if it was another club, there was a couple of things here. Number one, yesterday, there was just resentment. They were just like, they were just accepting their fate. There was no crowd thing going at 2-0. There was no one trying to grab the grain with the scruff of the neck. Where last year they had Richarlison doing that. And Richarlison was scoring key goals for them. And people forget that as well. There's another part, so when the fans are just like, you know what? I think this is it. When they're kind of giving up in the stadium at 2-0, everyone they just kind of went, yeah, I think this is happening. And the other part is based on last season, and everyone always resorts back to last season when they beat Palace. They've sold Richarlison, they've sold Anthony Gordon, and signed Neil Maupay.
Yeah.
which like I'm not like I know they've got financial fair play issues and they've had to sell these players. The downgrade is ginormous. There's no leader in the side. Yes, they've signed Onana, who looks like a good player, and I'd actually be kind of interested in Liverpool going for him, just for the sheer joy of my life of signing Onana from him. But never mind. I don't care if he's like.
And then you don't. It's not like you look at that team. You don't want anybody else anyway. Like you look around, you're like, no, you guys can keep all those.
Someone put on Twitter today going, I just signed Tom Davis just to be Liverpool's yoga instructor. Which I'm really into. But the main reason why I want him to go down, forget all the hatred of Van Dijk and all this, it's just because it's funny. And sometimes life is about having a bit of a fun. And everyone getting relegated is quite funny. Sometimes I just want a bit of a laugh. And just to see them suffer for
the fact that let me ask you, because you're the guy from the city. Yeah. Let me ask you, does the fact that it would be funny, but would you want them to bounce right back up?
No,
because it doesn't look like they would be able to, based on what they got going, because they're not going to keep whatever they have in terms of good players in there. So it's not going to be like a case of like Norwich, you know what I mean? They're like, they're going, but they'll be right back, kind of a deal. They might not come back. Like, when they go down, would you root for them to come back up so we can beat up on them again so they can go down again? Or you'd be just enjoying watching them play Hull City?
No, I don't want them to come back up. No. I couldn't imagine anything worse, to be honest, and then bouncing back up. Because they'll think that, like, winning the championship's a major trophy. And they'll start claiming this, and I can't have that either. I think that Bramley Moor looks like a lovely Starbucks, doesn't it? That new ground. It could be a great Starbucks because there's no way they're going to be playing it. I mean, my hatred stems a lot deeper than that. I do not want them to come back up. I think the team, and I think the clear out that they've got to do is actually ginormous. They got Yerry Mina on 120 grand a week, and he hasn't played football, I don't think, since January for them. And Jordan Pickford. He's just signed a new 5-year deal like 3 months ago. Can this lad get any fitter? Like, can this lad get any stupider? Like, why? And by the way, I've been told, and this is the rumor, that there's no relegation release clause, which is absolutely genius on his account. So there's your England number one. It just absolutely defies belief. How do you even wake up in the morning? Never mind actually go about your day-to-day, Jordan Pickford. But he's actually the one that you actually think they can make money on Pickford. They would not make money on any other player. This is the worst part. There's one sellable asset, and it's Jordan Pickford. Like, and maybe Onana. You'd go as far as Onana. But the rest you will look and go, for example, if you look at Southampton go down. James Ward-Prowse, Alcaraz. I like Bazuna, the goalkeeper. I'm not sure if Kyle Walker-Peters, you'd actually go good for. You can actually see 5 or 6 players where you go, you know what? They'll make money on them players. Everton have one sellable asset. They are in the mud. And the other thing what you're saying as well, Tim, I know we'll move on to something else now, but Brighton will whack them on a Monday night at home. This is the thing. It's all about timings of games as well. They've got to go to Leicester on a Monday night. I wouldn't even, as a Liverpool fan, I do not want to go to Leicester on a Monday night. I can't be bothered.
I was just going to say, you'd be there. The biggest Leicester fan ever.
But even as Liverpool fans, though, you get the fixtures. We all look at the timings of games. You go, I don't fancy Leicester on a Monday night. Like, as soon as Burnley come back up, Tim, I know you, that you're going to get those Liverpool fixtures and go, when the fuck do we play Burnley? You're going to go, on Monday night.
As long as it's a Saturday morning, for fuck's sake.
Saturday morning in January. Oh, fuck off. Just rip it up and start, like, go away. So that's what, like, the other thing for Everton, they've got to go to Brighton on a Monday and Leicester on a Monday. I think that's key for them. Really, I really think it's over. They will not win another game this season.
Yeah, this weekend, this Monday game, I guess, is going to be huge. And yeah, I mean, I am heavily rooting against them as well. And Sparky says if they go, they'll be gone for years like Leeds. And I agree. I think because of the situation they're in, and they got no one to blame but themselves, though. It's not like, a team that, we have so many horrific injuries. No, man, you just spent the money in so many stupid places and so many bad decisions. I mean, you look at the bottom of the league, and sometimes you can say, they didn't invest enough, or it was a team that just came up. They invested too much. They didn't have time to gel and stuff. For an established Premier League team to spend this much money year after year after year, and to end up with the same shit year after year after year, takes a lot. I mean, it's really almost hard to spend this much money and be this shitty. I think it would be like a reverse challenge for a general manager to be like, you know what, spend money but be bad. He's like, I don't know if I can do that. You can do it. Sign more pay. Okay, Alex, let's go to the other side of the thing over here. For a while, I mean, that's the problem, right? Like half of it is, I mean, I know I was like, man, I want Newcastle to win. Top four seems really unlikely anyway. Might as well have Newcastle win this game. But then United was winning too. Tottenham pulled it off in the last minute. So now we play Tottenham, which that was a good sign for them, but it's a whole different game when they go away. We know that as well. Obviously, we saw that last time. Do we still have a chance in top four after you watched yesterday's games, Alex? Were you like, man, you never know?
Oh, I still think we have a chance, especially with how like how shaky United has been in these last couple of weeks, especially with their key injuries in their center backs. You know, they got Lindelof and Maguire back, so any team that's going to be playing United is definitely going to be gunning at those guys, especially if they need points, especially if they're in a relegation battles or they're going for a European spot. They're definitely going to be going at United. So that fourth spot where United is going to be key for us. And I think, you know, dare I say it, but I think we can pip that from United. Man, if Everton go down and we pip top four from United, that would be amazing.
It would be like the quad, winning the quad, or
yeah.
It's more important. It's more important than the club.
It seems like a long time ago, but we beat Spurs 2-1, and I think if I remember correctly, that was our first away win. We beat him at Tottenham.
Yeah, I can't remember that, but you might be right. I can't remember, to be honest.
It's been I'm
trying to kind of erase the memories of the season as fast as possible.
But I think that game is set for us. You know, we're going to be playing at Anfield underneath the lights. I think the atmosphere is going to be rocking. They come out with a win this weekend. I think people are seriously going to be turning their shoulder looking at Liverpool coming on up to the top four. So
I agree to that. I just don't know. I think it's a bit too late in the game. I agree with Sparky. I think it's just a bit too late. If we started this maybe 2 weeks before and started a run, I don't even I'm not going to even go out and put any money on us like winning out the rest of the season, number one. And I think it's just a bit too late. This is United's schedule rest of the way here, Kazi. I mean, do you see them losing tempo? They play Chelsea, for God's sakes, where we could just put together a team and probably beat them at this stage. So I don't know. I mean, they are playing against teams who will need points, but by then, Bournemouth might not. By then, heck, West Ham might not be as desperate and see this as a must-win game or something like that. I mean, do you see them losing that many points?
Yes, but I think this weekend is key. I think Villa at home is I don't want to play Villa right now. Villa are a really good side, and especially when United have just played on the Thursday. And I do feel like Villa is a big chance for them to drop points. I think that's the most important game. If United win that game, you might probably call it quits. But if they lose that game and Liverpool beat Spurs, it's bang wide open. As you've just seen with the fixtures there, they've got to go to Brighton on a Thursday night. Mm-hmm. It's another thing like that where you go, I don't mind playing these sides. It's when I play these sides. Because again, it makes it tougher games. Like, you know, you're playing Brighton on a 3 o'clock kickoff away. You go, okay, that's when I want to play them on a Saturday afternoon kind of thing. I don't want to play them Thursday night when they can potentially go to top 6. I don't want to do that. That's the same with Villa. Villa probably looking themselves going, if we beat United, we have half a chance. If you're Villa.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, really, they're in the mix more than we are. I mean, if we're saying we have a chance, they definitely have a chance. I think the only thing we have is we play Villa at home. So even if we're like, you know, we're kind of at pace with them, you know, we play against them, and that's like a 3-point swing right there. Whereas we don't have it. I mean, after Tottenham, we don't have that with United or whatever. So Sparky says they will lose points, but so will we. So let's start with this weekend first, real quick. Get some predictions out of the way. Alex, let's start with you. Any surprises in the lineup? I was shocked that we did not have as much of a rotation or any rotation, really. I mean, Matip played because he kind of had to. Do you expect any, or this is going to be like Klopp saying this squad is winning, so same as we did last time?
Do we know if Konate's fit, or will we?
He's back.
He should be back.
Yeah. So probably you think Konate will be there. I honestly think probably Nunez will start on the left, because I think Nunez's pace over Jota, especially with Emerson Royale and the back line of Spurs, doesn't do very well against pace. So I think that would be key. I think putting him in there with Gakpo and Salah, that would be good for him. I probably would see. I think Henderson will probably be swapped out for Thiago, and we'll see where it goes. I'm expecting a Liverpool win 2-1, so I'm saying it now. I think Spurs will score early, like West Ham did against us, but I think we'll come back and win it.
Man, Thiago and Nunez on the field at the same time means we're gonna concede definitely more than one. I'm just like Nunez. We always like see nothing but like the attacking side. Oh, he's dangerous. He just creates chaos and stuff. But he creates chaos for us defensively as well, especially in our pressing and stuff like that. I still do not see how it fits unless we change something or he changes something, and then you add Thiago to the equation. Man, that would be rough. I say the same 11. If Konate is available, you pit Konate. Like Sparky says, you kind of go with the winning formula, and then you got all these guys that you can bring off the bench. Not that I like Nunez off the bench too, because we talked about that on the Monday podcast that he almost over tries when he comes in off the bench. But I just feel like you can't replace Gakpo right now. And Jota is kind of on a run, and you can't replace his pressing, Kazi. I think that's why I'm sticking him with the 11. If I replace Jota, it would be because I'm putting Diaz in and not Nunez.
Yeah, that's me. I think he makes 3 changes. I think Ibu comes straight back in. I think it is Thiago for Henderson, and I think it's Diaz for Jota. And the reason why I'm saying it's Diaz for Jota, he said in his presser, Jota did get the hit on the back. He said he should be okay. So when Klopp says a player should be okay, they're out for 3 weeks. So
he's gonna knock.
He should be okay. There's nothing worse than when Klopp says, "Oh, this is not cool." He means he's out for 6 months. You go, it's not cool, and you're like, "Oh, 6 months, thanks, Jürgen. Cheers, pal."
He's done.
You're like, not cool. It's fucking a catastrophe. What are you talking about? You mean? Jesus, Jürgen, don't fucking sugarcoat it, pal.
It's not cool. Yeah, so score prediction from you?
4-5-0 Liverpool. I think we all forget that Spurs are shit.
Yeah.
And I think when you play shit sides, you should beat shit sides. Liverpool have lost 1 game at home all season. And that has to be really remembered. That Liverpool have lost 1 game at home all season. It was to Leeds and they scored the last minute winner. So, yeah, 4-5-0. They just went to Newcastle and conceded 5 in 20 minutes. Just go. I think if Liverpool score in the first 5 minutes, they just might capitulate. They might just go, "Oh fuck." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it really depends on that, because I think once we open the door, it's going to be floodgates. Because they're a very fragile team right now. The bad part is I feel we're very fragile too. I just don't want, if that game lingers on at 0-0 and we give them some kind of hope. I mean, with Kane and Son and stuff, the way we're playing defensively right now, I would just worry that. I would definitely not bet on a clean sheets. As Sparky says 3-1, Alan is going with 3-1. I'll take the 3-1. You guys know it's my favorite score. Never freaking happens. It's always like a 2-1 with, puckered buttholes in the last 15 minutes. But, it is what it is. It's like nonstop squeaky bum time when you watch Liverpool this season. But yeah, 3-1 would be a nice one. But I agree with you, Kazi, though. If we get a goal early, it could be a scoreline like 4-1, 5-1 or something like that too, because I think we will get goals on them. Who's in goal? Did Lloris get back yesterday? I didn't even check.
No? Forster. Yeah. And there's another thing about Forster, he can't dive to his right. It's like an old football myth that Forster can't dive to his right. I don't know where that came from. But when you look, every goal that goes to his right, he just never saves it. It's amazing. I love a little football conspiracy like that. Like the Everton owner, Farhad Moshiri, is a Liverpool fan. He just has to be. You can't keep getting it wrong.
it's a huge weekend of games. I think it will really define the top four, like we were talking about, and definitely the bottom, especially once the Leicester game is over. So Monday Night Podcast is when we're back next. Well, I guess Monday morning with the Polish Prince we'll be back. But we won't have like the Everton game in the books by then, but we will definitely know how this top four is shaping up. Don't forget that there's 2 days left on this fundraiser. Let's do what we can, and then let's hope we get the 3 points. So Monday morning we're having a good old time waiting for the Everton game. Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks to all those listening. Give it a like, give it a share. You know what to do, and we'll see you guys Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.
Good,